buddy Roger here. I want to kind of chime in today on give my 2 cents in regards to this whole asylum seekers / immigration, refugee, whatever thing that is happening in our southern United States borders. So I wanted to start off by saying that all you people who think that it's inhumane what Donald Trump was because he's already executively signed something, or he signed something to push forward with the changes that people were that the left was requesting. All the policies that were in place have been in place since around the Clinton area. He signed off on it for shit like this to be done, and there's good reason for it actually. And you guys don't fucking know that. The majority of you, you know. And I'm sorry. I always say you guys. I know that my audience, you guys, all seems like for the most part, you guys are all fairly well-rounded individuals who actually can comprehend things. But I guess in general, the general individual who is all about hating Trump and everything that he does are the ones that I'm relaying this to. There's reasons why this was enacted. I don't think you only want to look at what's on the surface. You want to hate Trump for whatever reason, but you're only looking at everything on the surface. You basically are seeing that these kids, and again, some people, you don't know half the time if they're kids or not. You don't even know sometimes the adults. It's just like, you know, when you're undocumented, nobody's going to question your age. And you know what? Don't think it's out of the question to think that America is going to be looking at like a 40-year-old man and he's going to be identifying as like a 17 or an 18-year-old or a 16-year-old, that it won't be accepted as their fact, and that the government will input that information in. I mean, just look at what's happening over, you know, with foreigners coming in and claiming to be young kids, and they turn out to be 27, 28 in Europe, you know, France and all these other places. They're lying about their ages. It can happen here with the negligence that we've been having lately. So anyways, a lot of these times, these kids, they come either alone or they come with supposed family. Now, when you're confronted by ICE, when you're confronted by Border Patrol, what are you going to say to try to get across? Of course you're going to say if I was a Mexican, I am Mexican, but if I was an illegal immigrant or an illegal person trying to come into the States, what would I say? What would I do? What would I do to try to make sure that I made it across that entry point? I would say, yes, this is my family. I would have a pre-made plan to say, yes, this is my family, even if it's nobody I've ever seen before in my life, just somebody that trekked with me, or maybe somebody who was assigned to be acting as my parent. Are we going to be having documentation on these people right now? No. So there's a process that has to go through. Now here's the part where it gets really scary. This is why these rules are in place. Some of these adults are human traffickers. So what you leftists are saying is like, oh, don't separate them from the parents. You don't even know who the fuck the parents are to begin with, people. You don't know. You don't know who the parents are. They can say that they're parents, but guess what? It's probably a human trafficker who's going to go and sell this kid out or kids into some sex ring, or go chop this kid up to bits, or go recruit them for MS-13 or wherever the fuck. You know, who knows? You know, who knows? But yet, no. They came with adults. They got to leave with the adults. You just assume they tell the truth. Now, why do you assume they tell the truth, but you never assume that Trump or anybody like me would ever tell the truth? Your guys' fucking priorities are so hypocritical and one-sided. It's not even credible. It's not even credible. Your fake caring about these kids is not even credible either. Where were you when Obama was hiding all this information? You guys never complained about him not taking authority, not growing a pair, letting his wife grow the pair in another way, but not to solve problems, to try to get this stuff done once and for all. No. Handling things executively is not the way to go, because then the next president can turn around and just change the rules. This is why you have to have cooperation. This is why things have to get done. This is why Trump is trying to do things the right way. He wants to solidify these rules, so that way this issue doesn't come up over and over and over again. Does the average person want to see a family separated? Absolutely not. But do you also want to see these kids go to adults who probably tell them before they reach the border, now you better fucking say that I am your dad or your mom, or I'm gonna kill you, or do whatever. And then, do you want that? Do you want that scenario where these kids are coerced by these people? You're making it easier by now saying that, by now having Trump, and I do not agree with Trump on this, by now having him, you know, see what it can be done to make families stay together a lot easier, you're going to make this problem worse. There's going to be a lot more people coming over, and not just families, but adults who can have easy access to kids, to traffic, to sell, to murder. From Mexico, you're going to have all these people come on by, and you're opening it up for them. How fucking stupid are you? How fucking stupid are you? You don't think about these things. So let's put it this way. Let's say an American family. And again, by you guys, I don't mean my general audience. I'm saying, you know, I'm ranting here. I'm saying it in general. But let's just say an American family tries to cross the border to Mexico. Let's say the laws were reversed, that Mexico was the one like America, and America was like Mexico. So let's just say that hypothetically. So American families now, people, try to cross the Mexican border, try to cross through Mexico. And everybody in Mexico is like, oh, no, let them in, let them in, let them in. You know, they're just seeking refuge from their horrible country, yada, yada, yada. But then in America, we already see, oh, you know, they're fighting for us to get in. So let's go ahead and go. So some families, legitimate families, will come in, you know, and say, okay, you know, I'm tired of my kid getting attacked by the cartel, getting, you know, hacked to bits by the cartel. Those are credible reasons. And when you have to turn people away when ICE has to turn people away like that, with credible reason, I'm certain as humans that would cross their mind and it would feel very bad, but they have laws to uphold. But what you guys want to have happen is not to have these laws unfold. I'm sorry, but that country is due for a revolution. Mexico itself is due for a revolution. Real Mexico. Now back to my imaginary Mexico. So these families, they come across, you know, by the thousands, by the hundreds of thousands, as word gets out saying, oh, it's a great opportunity. And then more Americans are like, I'm an opportunistic American. I know I can get my hands on some kids here, or see some kids trekking along Texas or Arizona trying to hop over Mexico. I could take advantage of that situation, coerce them into forcing them to say that I'm their father or their mother, and then I can sell them once I get safely across, or do whatever, and collect whatever money that they're able to get, collect the benefits that I'm able to get. So many infinite possibilities. You guys are so fucking stupid that it makes no sense that you're not thinking this through. Oh, mother and father, you're separating the family. Oh, mother and father, you're separating the family. No, there has to be research done. There's no documentation showing yet that these are families. For most cases of illegals that try to come through. Oh, but they're seeking asylum. Well, if you seek asylum, go through the correct methods. You will at least get reviewed. You will not be turned away. No, they're coming in the wrong way. Some of them are coming in the wrong way. I'm sorry, but we have laws to uphold. Our government, I'm proud of ICE. I'm proud of our Border Patrol. I'm proud of our president actually enforcing these laws. He's doing it for the safety of America, to make sure we don't get any criminals, or to reduce the number of criminals, to reduce the number of threats that come into America. But he's also doing it, but it's also there in place for the safety of the people crossing through. So now, just an off subject here, but yesterday, an illegal alien, and I posted a tweet about this, a guy who was here illegally in Arizona, Phoenix, he shot 9 people. He was finally arrested, but he's been multiple times he's had run-ins with the law. This fucker costs us money, because now we have to put services that could otherwise go to other areas in Phoenix to go handle this piece of shit who's out shooting people. Oh, and March for Our Lives, I asked you a question on my tweet too. How did he obtain his gun? Are you going to argue about that? Oh, and another thing, Extension or whatever his name is, that guy was killed about 10 or 15 miles from where the Parkland massacre happened. That was in the same district as the Broward County. It's in Broward County. Are you guys gonna advocate for the two perpetrators who shot extension, I don't know how to say his name, extension, with whatever gun they had? What if it turns out to be an illegally obtained gun? You know, not legal. Are you guys going to advocate about that? It's in your community. It seems like you guys have so much wrong there. In school funding not being used appropriately, and now you guys want to suspend this kid, you know, for exposing you guys not doing your jobs. So a lot of these kids, as a Border Patrol agent was talking to a reporter, a journalist on CNN recently, says, you know, we see a bigger nightmare is when we see kids that are that drown crossing the rivers, and we have to pull them out.
And if you guys have seen some of the stuff that we've seen down here, you would understand just how important it is to have a tough stance to divert people from coming here. When you see a 12-year-old girl with a Plan B pill, or with their parents put her on birth control because they know that's getting violated as part of the journey, that's just a terrible way to live. When you see a 4-year-old girl traveling completely alone with just her parents' phone number written across her shirt, I mean, come on now, you know, something needs to be done.
From the Border Patrol, Texas law enforcement or Texas EMS professionals were happy to be tasked with such work. We did not abuse any children. Instead, we cared for them. We fed them and gave them water, clothes, medical care and comfort. All of these kids were sick or ill. It might be something as simple as dehydration, but oftentimes it was more than that. Much more, such as the 10-year-old girl that I flew who had been RD no less than 10 times on her journey. Her private parts torn by the continued trauma inflicted each night of her stay in the desert. Her screams and cries of mistrust still haunt me to this day when I think about it. Then there was a little boy who was only 5 years old, covered in scabies, fleas, and abscesses, with a broken jaw from being hit by a smuggler for crying. There were many kids that were so malnourished and dehydrated that they could not hold any solid food down and were delirious from sun exposure. Most of these kids had never slept under a roof their entire lives. They certainly never slept in a bed, as they often slept on the ground with animals in their home countries. At the centers where these children were housed, they cried aloud. Why wouldn't they? Most had been on a journey that no human should ever go through. Most have never been able to trust a single soul their entire lives, even their parents. They were afraid of the future. But what these professionals did at the centers was phenomenal work. They fed these kids, they immunized these kids, they love these kids, they have counselors on hand to help with these children. Some of these kids are put into the foster care system, which, while not the greatest it could be, is almost certainly better than where they came from and the abuse they have suffered at the hand of cutthroats and drug cartels. The people that are actually working this crisis are good people. In fact, they are better than most people. They put their lives on hold to help children that they don't even know, while spending months at a time without seeing their own families.
We had a 9-year-old boy last year have a heat stroke and die in front of us with no family around, and that's because we're allowing people to continue to take advantage of this system. And let's be honest here, if we want this law changed, then we need to, that's on Congress. That's on nobody else but Congress. They need to come in there, they need to get to work, and they need to change this law. Until then, us as Border Patrol agents, we have a duty to enforce these laws, and we'll continue to do it until they change this law, and hopefully they will.
What you guys are saying, what the majority of the people who have these hearts are saying is in America are saying, oh my God, you need to let them through. Well, what you're doing is, here's the thing, I'm just throwing a fake stat out there, but I'm using it as an example. Let's just say for every 100 people that try to come into America illegally or seek asylum, 5 or 10 of them die from anything trying to make the trek over to gain whatever benefit they can from America. And it is a benefit, they know this. So anyways, that's, what is that? 10 out of every 100, that's 10%. Let's just say 10% die on the trek. It's probably an over an exaggeration, but a lot of people die. So now, the amount of people trying to come into America has decreased, illegally, has decreased since Trump has been in office. Now that everybody has coerced Trump into signing this stupid fucking thing saying that, oh, we're going to keep families together, we're going to start seeing an influx, more of an influx of people coming into America. And guess what that means? More people innocently dying, trying to come into America. And not even innocently dying. I mean, they want, granted, there's going to be some of them that want to escape the the atrocities in Mexico. But again, that's Mexico's business. They need to handle that. Meanwhile, we're giving them an open door. If they want to seek asylum, do it the right way. I don't have no issue with that. We have one asylum seeker every month, 100,000 a month. I don't care. If you do it the right way, I have no issue with it. If you try to come in here illegally, only to be taking advantage of the billions of dollars each state spends on illegal support, illegal alien support, my pockets can only go so dry, man. I mean, the average American cannot afford the influx of illegal aliens coming in. And Alyssa Milano, if you have a fucking heart, go for it. Give them your address. Give them your address. Tell them they can stay there with you. You're putting them in our places. They're taking over. Here's the thing, Alyssa, Mrs. Milano. These people who come into America, they come in here and they take over smaller, poorer communities. They take opportunities out of low-class Americans who want to work their way up. You're making it harder for the average American to actually move up in the world. And then you're flooding their communities with people who are going to be, businesses will take advantage by paying them lower, less hours, no benefits. I'm sorry, but Alyssa, your heart might be in the right place, but your mind is fucking loose. There's a screw loose in there somewhere, because all you're doing is yeah, they're in America now, but you're making conditions worse for the average American now who already has issues. So fuck off. And where was your moral outrage, Alyssa Milano? I was looking in advanced search on Twitter, and I could not find any, article. There was articles, during Obama's time where it was, it was showing that he was turning away asylum seekers. He was turning away a lot of people at the border in Mexico. But there was nothing that you ever said against Obama. So now you're being a hypocrite. Unless you just word it differently in my Twitter advanced searches. Just not, finding the tweets where you're bashing Obama for the exact same thing that you're bashing Trump for. Please correct me if I'm wrong, Miss Milano. You seem to be on top of everything, right? So, all right. So again, Obama, nobody ever bitches about Obama doing this. Nobody ever bitches about when Obama would put these kids in cages and whatnot. Here's the thing. When it comes to the midterms, I'm glad this happened now, actually, because what's going to end up happening is this. We're going to start seeing reports of some of these people, some of these adults actually not being parents. But you know what? You guys wanted Trump to do something your way. We're going to start... This is a good thing. Okay, this is a bad thing and a good thing. It's a bad thing because there's going to definitely be victims here. Casualties. Kids, casualties. And even adults. Adults who are trafficked as sex slaves or to be murdered or to be part of recruitment for gangs or all these other atrocities that could probably happen. Some psycho person would probably take some of these kids and do some sadistic things to them, like that fucker in Australia, the world's worst pedophile that just recently got sentenced to life. He should be fucking murdered, to be honest, for what he's done to these kids. But anyways, you guys, you Dems, you leftists, and again, I'm saying extreme leftists. I know there's a lot of leftists out there who actually don't think this way. But the majority of you crazy loons out there trying to have Trump change this rule, just wait and see. In a couple weeks' time, maybe in a couple months, before the real heart of the matter in midterms, you guys are so stupid you timed this just right for us. We're going to start hearing reports of supposed parents being, unfortunately, claiming to be the father or mother or both of 1, 5, 10 kids. They take them with them, and then they do some horrible things to them. Or if they go back to Mexico, and if they come to America, they're going to be taking advantage of the system. With all these kids who they don't even know, they're probably not even old enough to know who their family is. I don't know. We're going to start hearing all these cases of abuse, of killings, and it's great that it's going to be, okay, it's not great. This kind of thing should not have happened. But it's going to lend itself to exposing the severity of the issue. You guys will now see, in the coming months, you guys are going to see reports of what this change is doing to these kids, causing them to be murdered, causing them to be sold. You'll see. You'll see. These rules are in place for a reason. What are you guys' thoughts? Do you think that Trump made the right choice in changing this, to where now he's going to try to make it to where parents can stay with their kids, or do you think it's a bad idea? I personally side in the feeling of the latter. It's a bad idea. It's horrible. We don't have the information to know if these are real parents or not anyways. And then Mr. Fonda, Peter Fonda, and even Jane Fonda, wow. You guys are loons. So now you guys are advocating hurting kids with pedophiles. This is your guys' tactic. It takes me back to the day that I think everybody forgot, or a lot of people forgot, where Rosie O'Donnell was attacking Barron Trump as well. You guys have no shame. And then you guys get mad when we even bring up reasonable ideas like this. You think it's racist or sexist, homophobic, whatever. Oh my God, the things in your guys' minds. Anyways, what are you guys' thoughts about this whole thing? I personally hate it. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts. Like, share, hate, comment, subscribe, ramble like me. But either way, have a great day, and thank you for watching. Peace out.
Hello, Bob the Builder. What can I do for you?
We will build a great wall along the southern border.
Oh.
And Mexico will pay for the wall.
Oh, dear. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll pop over quickly now. It won't take me 5 minutes to fix that. No, it's no problem. See you soon. Bye.
I'm building a wall.